here in 2017 and win their first Leinster title in 17 years. They've great support here in Croke Park, as you would expect. There is more support for the home team, but lots of lily white around Croke Park as they get possession straight from the throw-in. David Slattery has made a run infield, taking Niall Scully with him. That's Johnny Byrne, and now it's David Slattery coming in off that wing. Started at right half forward, and the shot from Daniel Flynn, and there is the first point of the Leinster final. Daniel Flynn.
An absolute beauty, Darrell. Look the way he just peels off his man and strokes it over the bar. Great start for Kildare. Interestingly enough, as we talked about earlier,
and Kildare win the first Dublin kick-out. How are they going to do with those over the course of the 70 minutes? Lots of questions about what Kildare would do, how they would counteract various things that Dublin will do, but they've started in a positive frame of mind and a positive manner, but the move breaks down and they win the ball back. Johnny Byrne involved again. It was Owen Doyle, the captain, his initial block down, and Doyle fires it in long, and that's a superb ball in. A tester for, was it James McCarthy? It's come back out to Mulick, and McCarthy only half clears, and arriving was Cathal McNally, and Dublin by the underdogs. Dublin were 1-14 to win this Leinster title. Now Kildare taking it to them straight away. Johnny Byrne, off he goes. Niall Scully there with him. Byrne has seen a fair bit of the ball inside the first 2 minutes. Here's Keith Cribben. His brother Paul on the bench. Now it's Kevin Feely. Feely spraying it out wide, and it was just Ollie Lyons behind him. Andrews has nobody through the middle, but ahead of him is Dean Rock. The equaliser has come, and it's taken from Paul Mannion, and you think of the sort of numbers he scored against Westmeath. 8 shots, 8 points. He's off here.
Yes, and he's taken up where he left off the last day. Beautiful instinctive shot from Mannion. One look.
In this year's Leinster campaign, David Slattery. It's all at 1,000 miles an hour at the minute. Paddy Brophy brought the ball under control. That's Philly McMahon in front of him. Brophy, Kieran Kilkenny, Dean Rock and Paul Mannion ahead of him. Con O'Callaghan sneaking forward as well, and Kieran Kilkenny has put that one wide. Cathal McNally played really well against Meath. Kevin Feely, and that one drops short. It was Fergal Conway. This is club football with Coola. Paddy Andrews of St. Bridget's. That's Tommy Mulick in front of him. Andrews given too much space, and it's gone. Well, it's come off the upright. Tommy Mulick. Even behind him, James McCarthy. Decent options on the right. McCarthy now spots Cian O'Sullivan. Popped out to him. They've nobody in a full forward position. Paul Mannion now moving into that general area. Kieran Kilkenny. Kilkenny with Cribben, advantage being played. Kilkenny takes it on himself, slots it over the bar. Dublin by 2 points to 1.
Fantastic score altogether by Kilkenny. Involved 3 times in the movement, but once he puts on that afterburn and goes for it, he is absolutely lethal. Great score.
2 inside forwards. Cathal McNally, that looks good. That looks, it's going to drop short. Again, second one they've dropped short, and we've under. Paul Mannion couldn't hold on to it. Got out in front of David Hyland, who's a very tight man marker. Now it's Eric Lowndes up from cornerback. Mannion. Fenton. Not a great pass, and from Niall Scully to pick out Con O'Callaghan, and O'Callaghan is really quick, and he's got through. It went over for a point. The goalkeeper Mark Donlan did, it appear, get the slightest of touches to this.
Yeah, very positive work that time by O'Callaghan, just going through that time. Yes, I think he just got his fingertip.
Kenny. And Kilkenny, look at the run through. This is absolutely brilliant. Dean Rock, goal. What a fantastic pass and run from Dean Rock. And he doesn't just do it from place balls, in open play too.
Oh, that's absolutely delightful move from Rock that time. Just watch the way he gets in behind the defence. But as the boys were talking about earlier, this time he just
took his eye off the ball, and Paul Mannion didn't need asking again. Brian Fenton. Now Niall Scully has made a super run through the middle. Eventually they spotted him. It was Ollie Lyons who got across to him. But Kildare, as we saw with the goal, just very open down through the middle of the defence.
It has surprised me that they don't appear to have a sweep.
On the outside as well, here's James McCarthy through. McCarthy, goal! Another one.
Oh, it's far too simple, no cover whatsoever, an absence of a sweeper system. We said beforehand that they had to restrain Dublin. They couldn't leave things open at the back, but that's great off-the-ball movement. McCarthy coming in from a difficult angle. I thought he overcarried the ball perhaps in that situation. The runner off the ball.
Keith Cribben up towards Cathal McNally. Niall Kelly in there. It's all a bit scrappy. The ball just in motion all the time.
All the time, and their pace and movement in particular off the ball is killing Kildare.
Here's Jack McCaffrey, speaking of pace and movement. Well, the shot just let him down, but there's a long way to go, and Ollie Lyons is comfortable in these kind of positions. Paddy Brophy need a couple of scores just to settle it down. Johnny Byrne decides to take this on. It'll stay in play, but only one Kildare man up there. Paddy Andrews, Dean Rock now drifting into the centre, taking Owen Doyle, the Kildare sweeper, with him. James McCarthy, Eric Lowndes. Brian Fenton. Dean Rock. White.
Yeah, but everything.
Kildare of 11 inside their own 65-metre line. But quite open again through the middle. Now it gets congested as Brian Fenton misses.
Just
pushed into space for Kieran Kilkenny to run onto. And Kilkenny has missed that one. So, well, I know
to an extent, and there's not enough in the forward line showing for these long balls that they're hoping to kind of send into them.
Daniel Flynn of Johnstown Bridge, Ollie Lyons. This is better. Daniel Flynn through, but he's crunched by James McCarthy. Ball. Look at that for pace. And Johnny Byrne is no slouch, that's for sure. Now it's out to Con O'Callaghan. That's such a simple football, but so effective.
Textbook football, textbook tackle first of all by James McCarthy. Absolutely rattled Daniel Flynn as he was coming through. Then beautiful transition. McCaffrey getting the ball.
They've played in 2017. Keith Cribben. Cathal McNally. Johnny Byrne. Byrne hanging on to it, trying to get away from... He has it back again. Daniel Flynn trying to get away from Keane O'Sullivan, but Feely is forced backwards, and Jack McCaffrey the one who's doing that, but the referee goes up to Kieran Kilkenny. Tricky bounce for him. Owen Doyle wins. Well, they have been kicking it more this year under Cian O'Neill. That's Paddy Brophy. May make something out of it yet. And that is gone over from Cathal McNally. Talk about being badly needed. They're first in 20 minutes. Cathal McNally.
Yeah, fine score from McNally that time. Got out in front. I think it was Philly McMahon, and turned on his right foot over his shoulder, but they need an awful lot more of those.
Kieran Kilkenny
comes into the full forward line.
And Brophy has been marked by 2. It's Michael Fitzsimons beside him, and Philly McMahon sweeping in front of it. Tommy Mulick, they can move it wide. Keith Cribben is out here, and now Brophy is pulled wide. Keith Cribben. Cribben went for goal, but they'll take the point.
Oh, that was a great opportunity. That time Cribben kind of came up on the blind side, was waiting out in that left wing for quite a while. Just maybe drove it too hard that time. I think had he kept it lower, and he
carry the ball forward like this, and in this particular instance, Cian O'Sullivan for Paul Mannion. He's out in front of Owen Doyle, and Mannion juggling with it. And Mannion, another slide rule pass up towards Dean Rock, and that was well defended by Mick O'Grady.
Deliberate pull down.
All right, so they've lost their free taker, or one of them anyway, their principal. For look again.
According to the rules, you deliberately pull a guy down, then it's a black card. By the letter of the law.
Rock could yet be a blow, and they've got a...
I think the main reason maybe is at the back. They've won the last couple of 50-50 tussles at the back. That time, okay, a little bit over anxious defending gives Kildare another opportunity for scoring. I think Kevin Feely is going to take it. But look at, as I said, Dara, here comes Bernard Brogan.
Kevin Feely. This isn't easy, but he made it look easy. Fascinating young man. He was born in under pressure, and here they're possibly in again. It's come back out to Cathal McNally, and McNally puts that one over.
Yeah, well, we talked a moment or two ago about it, the fact that they weren't putting Dublin under any pressure down there on their own kickers. That time it happened. Flynn did the necessary damage, but that time McNally over the bar. That's a good...
Oak Park, they've halved the deficit. Kieran Kilkenny. Paddy Andrews goes down and has been fouled by Mick O'Grady.
In fairness, he was trying to attack the ball, but every time a cornerback comes in like that behind his man, and that just watch that opportunity again from Rulik a couple of moments ago. Could have been better.
Haven't scored in 8 minutes. That's changed. That's a lovely free from Conor O'Callaghan. Not gone out of this by any manner of means, but they would love a goal before half-time. Easier said than done. Johnny Byrne. Byrne. Oh, that's gorgeous. That is a stunning point.
Absolutely beautiful.
They are not gone at all.
No, sir, I didn't think he was going anywhere that time, to be honest about it. He got inside it. Kieran Kilkenny, I think, was trying to kind of shepherd him the other way. He came in, got onto his left foot. I think, to be honest with you, that the left foot was as cultured as...
Between them again. Paddy Brophy sticking with him. Conor O'Callaghan. Brian Fenton. Kieran Kilkenny thought about having a go on his left boot. Paddy Andrews. Andrews made the space, and he's got under that, but it's a tester for the defenders. Bernard Brogan trying to get on the end of it. He will take possession of it now. Ollie Lyons of Kildare behind him. Bernard Brogan, Lyons slipped at the crucial moment, and that's gone over the bar. Lyons lost his footing, couldn't put significant pressure on Brogan. It may not have made much of a difference. 2 goals separate them again.
A beautiful score from Brogan. If you ever wanted a leader to come onto a pitch, Brogan is the man. That was gorgeous, the way he just got back onto his right foot.
Well, the full forwards all pointing where they wanted. Cribben has spotted a gap himself. Now he needs help. Back to Paddy Brophy. That's a really nice score. And all the credit, all the praise goes to Keith Cribben, even though it was Paddy Brophy who put it over.
Fantastic run. It's not the first time Cribben has done that today. Got right through the centre of the Dublin defence. Jim Gavin will be a little bit disappointed with that he's been given so much freedom. But lovely looping once more by Brophy. Stroked it over the bar. Great score for Kildare.
Now, after the damage Dublin did with those 2 goals, Kildare have got 6 out of the last 8 scores in the last 9 minutes. Paddy Andrews to take the free. That goes over as well. Daniel Flynn. Oh, ball just would go to hand at Conor. James McCarthy. Niall Scully belts it forward. That's for Bernard Brogan. He's one-on-one with Ollie Lyons, and it's a free out.
Yes, and that
keeps it in. Now decides to take on Brian Fenton. This is super from Daniel Flynn. Has a go himself. Oh, that is absolutely stunning. That could be one of the points of the year.
Oh, fantastic. A lovely bit of juggling right down in front of us here. Thought he was going to run it out of play, but look at the confidence of the lad. First of all, lovely bit of acceleration. Looks up, delightfully slices the ball through the post. Great score for Kildare. That's an inspirational score if there was ever one.
And here's the reply. Eric Lowndes, McCaffrey. That's Paddy Brophy who's gone with it. Kieran Kilkenny can't bring it under control. Kildare, game in our hands. We have a competitive match. Here's David Slattery trying to get through, and Slattery puts it over. They are finding room. They're exploiting space, and they're taking their chances. In the last 15 minutes of this match, Kildare have been really impressive.
Oh, it's fabulous scoring, but it's not for the first time today. They have absolutely cut a knife down to the middle of the Dublin defence and got a good score. Dublin will be somewhat concerned about the fact that their central area in particular, the centre canal is, opening up far too easily.
They have played well in
time, and if he gets possession and if he gets a slide of the goals, normally he's going to score.
Yeah, Ollie Lyons had won the last couple of balls off Bernard Brogan. Here's Paddy Brophy. Niall Kelly in at full forward. It's John Small who's marking him. They go back to Fergal Conway. Is there a score out of this attack for Kildare? Owen Doyle, Cathal McNally, Kevin Feely really put his boot through that. It's another one. That's a super score.
Super score by Kevin Feely. Talk about confidence, talking about a willingness to take on a difficult option. People sometimes talk about poor shot selection, but that time from distance, he nailed it.
And there is the whistle for half-time. Dublin knocked Kildare for 6. Well, 6 points with those 2 goals in the space of a minute early in the half. But Kildare have recovered really well. They've steadied down, and we've a game in our hands in the 2017 Leinster Senior Football Final. At half-time, it's Dublin who lead, though, by 2-8 to Kildare's 10 points.
And 8 points to 10 points.
James McCarthy at midfield alongside Brian Fenton. Niall Scully. Kieran Kilkenny. Taddy Andrews, Kieran Kilkenny again. And James McCarthy, there's a gap there, the slightest of gaps for James McCarthy. The goal scorer keeps going, but lovely pass. Here goes Flynn again. There's 4 around him, and he decides to have a crack at that after his brilliant. James McCarthy. Eric Lowndes. Risky one, but Philly McMahon snuck forward, and he's got a free in for Dublin, and Con O'Callaghan forward enough, you would think. And it was. So that's the first point of the second half. David Hyland up from fullback. Out to Cathal McNally. That's for David Slattery. Great hands. And the ball sent over the bar by Niall Kelly.
Beautiful bit of attacking football. Fantastic football that time, Dara, by Kildare. Good patience, good awareness, great timing of the pass, emphatic finish. That's very, very encouraging from a Kildare point of view, the way they're getting through the Dublin defence.
No, Brian Fenton can. And Hyland needs to get back and try and help out here. Paddy Andrews. Andrews, we're right behind that, and I can tell you it's gone over. That's a lovely score.
Yeah, and all of it is a consequence of poor concentration by David Hyland, not attacking the ball. Not usual to see that at this level of football, actually. But then when he was trying to get back, he was really struggling. He was gasping.
O'Callaghan. Bernard Brogan. That's gone over.
Oh, this is the way Dublin actually put you to the sword. They're so swift, so resourceful and innovative also when they get into the forward line. And this guy here, he may not be on the starting 15, but he's certainly putting in some addition.
After a big start to this second half, Bernard Brogan, Con O'Callaghan, that got a touch off the defender, which sliding. And Lowndes really taking it to Kildare. Paddy Andrews wasn't fouled, referee telling him to get ahead of him, who's Cathal McNally, and David Slattery is trying to slalom his way through. Now it's come through to Daniel Flynn! Stephen Club. A significant moment down at the other end, and quite a momentum shifter as Kieran Kilkenny gets it through to James McCarthy, spins away from Kevin Feely. Con O'Callaghan again. Kildare are going to make a change after this from Con O'Callaghan. Could have been a goal. They could create some more. And here is the man of the moment, Daniel Flynn. Ball seemed to be attached to his right arm. He's taking them all on, Daniel Flynn. He deserves a score for all he did, but it's away from him as well. Kilkenny. Conor Callahan jinking one way, then the other. He's done his stuff from place balls and also from open play. That's his third point from open play, and he's enjoying himself.
Very much so, but the way he withstands that challenge this time, he was given the advantage. He got a foot trip, but managed to have the strength and the conviction.
Need the next score. Here's Johnny Byrne. Tommy Mulick is to his left, and that's where he's gone. And Mulick from a long way out. Well, Dublin, with the way they're set up, they'll let you shoot from there. And Philly McMahon got right underneath that. Niall Scully will complete and compete with Kevin Feely in this championship of winning by huge margins. Bernard Brogan running at Owen Doyle, and Brogan wasn't going to miss from there. And really, since he's come on in the first half, he's been on fire.
He's been fantastic, and that came as a consequence of a turnover by Kildare. You can have all the mesmerising movement that you want to kind of show. I'd be surprised if he's still winded as a consequence of it. Not surprised to see him coming off. He has been out of football, I think, for quite a while as a consequence of injury, all right, but he looks groggy enough there coming off.
Fionn Dowling.
That's one of these days, Dara. Both teams will empty the bench.
Kevin Feely. Over that goes. He took over the... Will they get another goal chance? Well, David Slattery could see the space. Stretches out a bit. Con O'Callaghan, their scoring star over the course of the game. And O'Callaghan left, right.
Oh, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But you've got to credit Jack McCaffrey for the turnover just at the time when you thought Kildare were going to go through and get a score. But this boy this year, since he came on the team, O'Callaghan has been, he plays like a veteran.
Here's Paul Cribben. Cribben having a go at them all. Owen Doyle just took his eyes off the ball. He was Kieran Kilkenny. He's still full of energy, running now. Paul Mannion. Mannion had to let that drop. Bernard Brogan. That's another super score. There's nothing ordinary about that.
Oh, no, so economical. Anytime to just get a sniff of a score, the turn, to put it over the bar, precision, economy of effort, and wonderful, wonderful, wonderful speed of thought.
For the men in white, Con O'Callaghan, Kieran Kilkenny. Score at will. Shoot on sight, and this is drifting away from Kildare, who are now bringing Peter Kelly on for Owen Doyle.
Yeah, well, the thing is, there's a great challenge now for Kildare to try and stay with Dublin. To keep
straight at the goalkeeper, Kevin Feely. Will tack on another point.
Yeah, but you've got to actually credit Cluxton's poise and awareness.
They're bringing on these fellas who want to start the next day and want to prove a point to the manager, and here is Kevin McManaman doing just that. The ball just ran away from it, comes back to Fenton, and Fenton not as composed as usual, and on slip at the vital time by a deft little touch to that. David Hyland tried to get in. Paddy Brophy taking on Michael Fitzsimons, and Brophy just can't get around it.
Working with any breather, maybe his work rate had dropped somewhat. So
that is Paddy Brophy's free. And can Kildare put in a big finish?
Well, in fair vision up to now, and maybe we're seeing the difference between top tier and second tier.
Con O'Callaghan was still full of running. Kieran Kilkenny, it's a kind of Gary Owen thing. Mark Donlan did well, and Kevin. Can they work another goal chance? Ollie Lyons, that moment, and that Cluxton save from Flynn.
Yeah, they're kind of shapeless though at the moment, Dara. There's watch here. There's a guy getting
Keith Cribben trying to get Peter Kelly, or Fionn Dowling indeed, in behind. It's Fionn Dowling who puts the ball over the bar.
Yeah, good movement by Fionn Dowling that time, similar to maybe some of the movement that Dublin had in the first half, getting in behind the defence. Jim Gavin will be a little bit disappointed that the runner wasn't tracked.
John Small. Shane Carthy. Mark Donlan couldn't stop it going over. Carthy's first point.
Yeah, and the Kildare, we could hear their management exhorting the players to stand them up, stand them up, stand them up. That time the dummy was too easily sold, too easily bought also. And
Niall Kelly is the furthest forward. And Cribben isn't going to, unlike Jack McCaffrey, far too casual. Now David Slattery. out of picture. John Small not even looking at the ball. He's looking at Niall Kelly and Kildare.
The effort going for the other lads around him. He's been very satisfied with this afternoon.
He kicked one with his left boot during the first half, Kevin Feely. And he's done the same in the second. 4 out of 4 with the frees.
Yeah.
Kevin McManaman turning Johnny Bird almost inside out. McManaman, he's got a free.
No, he knew he was going to fence, so to speak.
So Con O'Callaghan. Yeah. Well, look, the referee saw it, so
yeah.
We follow the play with Brian Fenton. Bernard Brogan. Fenton again. Bernard Brogan, lower one, intercepted for Paul Mannion. Under 6 minutes to go. Kieran Kilkenny. They are still relentless and still full of running, and just Con O'Callaghan, and he tacks on another score. Remember, we mentioned about double-digit victories. Well, Con O'Callaghan has hit double digits for the day, his 10th point. 5 of them have been from play.
Yeah, and I know there's a good gap between the teams. What is it, a 10-point gap between them? But Kildare
ran into a sky blue wall. Emmett Bolton, Paul Cribbett.
And that sums it up too, Darren.
Yeah,
they're tackling.
McCaffrey.
They're 10 points up, but God, are not diminished whatsoever.
Emmett Bolton. Ben McCormack. Paul Cribbett. Fionn Dowling.
Yeah, they just eventually kind of forced
to happen with a very impressive display. And, well, when the match was a match, they were pushed right to the pin of their collar as John Smith. Ben McCormack. Wide. Eamon Callaghan. This could be interesting. Paddy Brophy seemed to push Michael Fitzsimons, but the referee wasn't interested, and Brophy has put that over the bar.
A judicious nudge, we'll call it, actually.
Yeah.
Derry got away with it all right, but I suppose the only kind of thing we could say, academic thing about that, it has taken it down to single figures. The marvellous spectacle of this. Is just a shame that they haven't been a little bit more accurate in front of goals, and that they gave away those.
Here's Niall Kelly. Flicks it forward for Peter Kelly. Daniel Flynn unable to do anything with it. Here's Brian Howard. Howard wants a point on Leinster Final Day. Thought he was going to have a crack at a goal, but Brian Howard.
They overlapped that time. I think the other forwards are a little bit disappointed that they weren't.
One each. Here's Paddy Brophy. Niall Kelly. They'll be out again in round 4 of the qualifiers. And they get in for a goal. And it's David Slattery, Ulster Senior Football Championship. And Con O'Callaghan again.
Oh, he hits the ball onto that right foot. It's just laser-like the way he can put it over the bar. And
Ben McCormack. Eamon Callaghan. Well, that's interesting for Paddy Brophy. Brophy's got in. Goal.
Brilliant.
They do get their goal.
They do get the goal, and they deserve to get in. Wonderfully flighted ball that time, I think, was by Eamon Callaghan. And the eye kept on it all the time by Paddy Brophy.
So of Dublin, though. That's been the other part of the equation. Kevin McManaman. Oh, Kieran Kilkenny. Paul Mannion is out. Free Mannion. Good save. Vantage, and he'd stopped. Okay.
He stopped it. I think he had pulled for the free. In fairness, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I know we saw it last night, maybe in one of the
games. Yeah,
a few times last night. Just watch it here. I think maybe in that case he called for the free there. Okay, he should have let it go. In fairness, he should have allowed.
Callaghan. He'll remember today for a long time. And there is the whistle.